What advice would you give someone who looks to possibly start a business at your level right now? Well, where you are in your business right now, what advice would you give to someone that would want to start a business?
First, I would say to write it down and make it plain that you actually want to start a business. You have to write everything down. You have to make a business plan as to what you see for your business. If you're trying to get other people in your business, you have to make sure that you write the proper proposal so that people will be interested in your business. You have to network yourself. You have to work long hours. What?
Nothing, go ahead.
Am I answering the question?
No, you answered the question, but I was like, she going in. She got to say like 5 different things right now. I should have said like 1 or 2 things.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I got a few.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But as I was saying, networking. Make sure you're networking. So you have to put your name out there. You have to create things. You have to make sure that you don't give up. Because that's another thing. You don't want to give up. Because when you're dealing with people, sometimes you do want to give up because people are going to get on your nerves. I mean, that's just everyday life. But people are going to get on your nerves, and you have to make sure that this is what you want. When you start the business, make sure that's what you want, and you're not just doing it for money, but you're doing it to help others, or you're doing it to just, benefit someone else. And it's not about you, but it's about God and the purpose that He has for you. So you have to make sure that you know that before you start anything, because it won't work if you're just looking to get money.
Okay, so this is another question I have. I don't think I've ever known this. So, have you ever, like people have these stories when they're growing up, like you hear with these great business owners later on, they'll say, the question will be asked, well, when did your business since start? And they always say, yeah, when I was like 12, I did this and this and this. So my question to you is, prior to your business of Lily Monet now, did you ever have businesses growing up, like doing jobs and stuff? Like what?
I was a nanny. That was my business. I nannied military children every summer since I was 12. I went everywhere with my sister. Wherever she went, I was the military nanny. So I would watch 5 kids Monday through Friday.
Oh, you might not want to say this is idea no more.
I know people are like, and look, past the war watch, oh Lord. But yeah, I used to. I had my own nanny business, and even when I was in college in Raleigh, I was still nannying Dr. Mary's kids. So I nannied, I babysat. That was my business, and all the money that I had, I was saving it for college and for things that I wanted. I would either buy me school clothes or whatever, that'll, just something to help my mom, being that she was a single parent. That was something to help her out as well. So I kept all my money because of course she's not going to take it. But I used it to get things for myself. Like she would buy me school clothes and all that stuff. But if there was something additional that I wanted, I was able to buy it for myself. Okay. So let's recap. You said that you covered a lot. Okay, you covered a lot. All right, so you said one thing is of course, I think one thing that really stood out to me outside of the networking and marketing yourself, and then you also said not giving up, but you said also in addition is doing something that God, basically what I heard was doing something God wants you to do, and that's beneficial, somewhere along those lines. That's how, in my mind, I perceive what you're saying. I think most of us want to do what we want to do. But then God has something else set up for us. And we think, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. Because there's something else I wanted to do. But then sometimes God leads you in a different path. And you don't know exactly why He leads you in that path. But then you see the benefits. You see the benefits of what He's giving you. And I wonder sometimes, well, why did this idea come to me? Or why did this... Like, how did this happen? But I've met so many great people in Greenville that have, I've helped them, they've helped me, and it's just been beneficial. Okay. So that's just what I would say.
Okay, I like that. I like that. And then secondly, you also stated that you had your business ventures did not just start with Lily Monet. It actually started prior with nannying.
Yes. I've always been interested in making my own clothes since I was very young. But the nannying thing came about because I would go visit my sister every summer. We would go pretty much everywhere. And so I would nanny her friends' kids.
Nice.
So and it also taught me time management. It also taught me commitment, because 5 o'clock in the morning and you're 12, who wants to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning when you're 12? And it's the summertime. Nobody. But I wasn't working all day. It was like for a few hours, and they would come get their kids or whatever. But it taught me a lot. It taught me time management. It taught me commitment. It taught me how to build relationships with other people. And it kind of just helped me, help other people.
Okay. Nice. All right. So, all right. Well, thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so I have to answer the question. All right, so the question is, what advice would I give? A part of me actually wants to say it's mixed. Right, there's two ends of it. One, it is the God-given business. I think that's very, very important. And this is in addition to the second point, which is what he was talking about in the book. And I actually did the blog about this, which you should definitely go check it out on joshuaburney.com. And you'll watch it. It's like 5 minutes. You'll enjoy it because I enjoyed it watching it. I was like, oh, okay. So I just go out and do it, right? And I think that what he was saying was, it's not about how small your business is, but it's all about how big it is. And how big your business is based off the fact of how it can grow organically and naturally. And whenever you put limitations on yourself, you have personal limitations, then it becomes an unnatural growth for your business.
Right.
And he was saying, so of course growth is dependent on money for the most part, but it also may depend on your lack of knowledge, education, experience, but even more is your passion for growing an extraordinary, productive, functional business.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And it was interesting for me with this week, and we've talked about this, is that this week has really been like a great revelation.
Yeah.
And because I woke up Wednesday and I was sitting there, it was just so weird, man. I was just sitting there having a real quick conversation with God, because God doesn't need that much time to talk anyway. He said what he got to say, he done. And he can give you 2 days of information in a half a second, and you'll be like, man, I don't know, am I crazy for thinking that fast? But you're not. That's just how God is. He doesn't need a lot of time. He's outside of time. So when he speaks, it's real quick. And I remember sitting on the edge of the bed, and I woke up. Well, of course I woke up at this point in time, but I was sitting on the edge of the bed, and I was like, you know what? I have no excuses, because I looked at naturally, going to the quote in God and myself, how can my business grow naturally? Your business grows naturally. At this point, from my understanding, is who you are personally, right? In your early stages of business, you are the head and the face of everything. Yes. And you are the idea person until you start bringing in more people, or you're willing to take ideas. But your business growth comes naturally, and that natural growth comes from who you are, and who you are comes from God. Right. And so when I looked at the situation, I said, okay, Josh, one of the things that I really worried about was my credibility. Like, what makes me credible to teach people how to communicate at a very high level, or what makes me credible to be able to do voiceovers or to make commercials for people. And I went through and the whole list of my experiences just flooded in my mind. And I have a lot of experience, and God has given me that experience to be able to be in this position to do that. And from that moment, I had that moment that Wednesday. This happened on Wednesday. I had that moment that morning. And then I went to church, and he said some things about the way that you were thinking. He said a couple other things. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. And then I went and read the book, and he was talking about this. And what that allowed me to do was become free in my business, because I really understood I have really what it takes. And I'm not in it to prove anything to anybody anymore. I think one of the things that I struggle with. Okay, I want to prove people that I can do this.
Right.
And my experience and my resume has shown this over years that I can do it. I have the skills, I have the expertise, I have the knowledge, and I'm steadily growing, but I'm already at a high level right now. I believe so in my mind. Well, no, not what I believe. It's what my experience has shown me. You know, at 26, I'm the president of Toastmasters, right? I'm top 10 in the state for public speaking. So when I was 20, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I mean, you were younger than that. That's what I'm saying.
No.
You're 25.
Okay. I mean, I ain't got it. That's fine. But so at 25 or 26, you know, I'm top 10 in the state for public speaking. And now I look at it as it's okay for me, like you stated, it's okay for me to market it. Why? Because naturally my business is going to grow as I evolve. Two, and more importantly, this isn't just something I just started one day. It literally, again, we've talked about this before on the show. If you see the whole span of things, it's no way I could have thought about this. It's no way. I want you to understand, us doing this show, right? Because I started it. I did it I was doing it before, and then me and my wife decided to put her on, and so we do it together.
Right.
Prior to me having the show, I never talked about having my own show. It just came about.
It did.
And then it evolved to where she came on, and then we see the benefits of it. So it naturally grew because we allow God to move in our life, and this is the result of that. And so now being more
serious.
That too, right? I'm not gonna, I take this stuff serious. I take this stuff very, very serious. And so being able to be free in that, saying, okay, this is how my growth is going to come naturally. I don't have to prove to anybody that I can do it. I'm just doing it because I want to create and see things within my community and in my life. Right. And this is just another opportunity to bring that about. And if it changes along the way, then it changes. Right? That's just me naturally changing as a person, and that's me naturally changing as a man of God and growing in the things of God. Because we said, who knows? We're not gonna, we can't plan on doing this show for 20 years because we didn't even plan on doing it last year. No. So we don't know how things are going to change. But to be able to be freer in business is one thing. To be able to not prove anything to anyone, but to do the things for people is one thing. And also in that, it allows me to market more because I'm not bound by what people think. I'm not doing this for other people's approval. My resume has shown that I can do it. So now all I have to do is take an extra effort to put it out there. Even if people don't want to see it, who cares? There's 8 billion people out here. So you're just 10 people that don't want to see what we have to offer. That's fine. There's 20 people that you or I know nothing about that is going to support me because you are supporting someone you don't know. It's just the other side of it's just another foot, a shoe on another foot. So that's what I would say to a person that's going into business. Yeah. Don't have to prove yourself. Let it naturally grow from who you are in your relationship with God. Yeah. And being free to be able to market yourself.
Yes, you have to market yourself.
That's what I would say.